$26 New Zealand. The Prime Minister is facing a full-scale revolt from her backbench over live animal exports. The trouble has been stirred up by new footage of Australian sheep being cruelly slaughtered in Pakistan and has forced Julia Gillard to demand an investigation when she met with the Pakistani Prime Minister during the Asia-Europe summit in Laos. Federal Labor MP Kelvin Thomson has been a vocal advocate against live animal exports from within government ranks, and he joins us now live from our Melbourne studios this morning. Mr Thomson, good morning to you. It's being reported that
Good morning, Ron.
It's being reported that you're threatening a blow-up in the final caucus meeting of the year. What demands are you going to put to the Prime Minister?
Well, what I said to the journalist from The Australian was that I would be raising this issue with the Live Animal Exports Work Group. The report about me in relation to the caucus meeting is not accurate. Other members may be planning to raise it in the caucus. I haven't discussed it with them. Of course, that's a matter for them. But I have serious concerns about what has happened to the sheep in Pakistan. I think that Australians who watched the Four Corners footage would have been disgusted with the way that sheep were buried alive there, and it is very clear to me that we have very different animal welfare standards from those which prevail in Pakistan and Bahrain.
Well, look, I'll come back to that in just a moment, but firstly, on the political scene here, how broad is your support in caucus for your live export revolt?
Well, a lot of MPs have expressed concern about the way in which animals have been treated on many occasions now. It hasn't just been an isolated incident. We've had the treatment of cattle in Indonesia, the treatment of breeder cattle in Turkey. We've had the Cormo Express, sheep in Egypt, and now sheep in Bahrain and Pakistan. And on each occasion, quite a number of MPs have expressed concern about this. So I think that concern about this issue is widespread amongst the Australian public. I've had hundreds of emails about the issue, and also widespread within the Parliamentary Labor Party.
And I suppose that's the point at this time. We're running up to another federal election. It is an issue that's very mobile in the public arena at the moment. Won't that help sway the government's actions on this issue?
Well, I think that we need to do more than we're doing at present, and I believe that we need to cease all live animal exports to Bahrain and Pakistan. It's clear that the way in which they treat animals is very different from what we regard as an acceptable standard. And I also think there need to be some penalties and consequences in relation to export arrangements which are such a spectacular failure as this one where 21,000 sheep were killed. I think that Wellards should have their export licence suspended.
But the trouble is with any action against the export trade is it affects Australians, not them.
Well, what I believe we need to do is to work towards a domestic processing industry, a chilled beef trade. This is what New Zealand has done, and it works for them. I know that there are people involved in the industry who are looking at domestic processing. I think that there are jobs and economic prosperity to be had in moving in this direction.
All right, well, thank you very much for having a chat to us this morning. We'll be keeping an eye on that caucus meeting before we head into the Christmas break. Labor MP Kelvin Thomson live from Melbourne. Still ahead.